Hey everyone, welcome to 2 Minutes Tuesday with Bala. This week we are going to look into how API can be hosted with Azure Static Web Apps. Let's get started. So Azure Static Web Apps out of the box support API. So there are a few ways that you can manage it. Azure Function Apps, or you can use Azure API Management, App Services, or Container Apps. There are 4 options that you could use. Azure Function Apps are fully managed. So if you can add your Function Apps code directly into your Azure Static Web Apps, it's automatically configured in the path/API, and then you don't have to have a separate Azure Function Apps to do it. Or the other way around, you could bring your own Function Apps, and then you can use that directly as well. And then the same way, you can use API management, or you can have Azure App Services where you host your API and then you can use it. Or you could use the Azure Container Apps. So by default, the managed API, you can use only the Azure functions. Bring your own APIs. We did talk through that. There are a few constraints that we need to be aware of. Each static web app environment can be configured with only one backend API type. It can be function apps or all the 4 options. You could choose only one. The API route prefix must be always /API. So route rules for API only support the redirects and secure routes. HTTP requests for API or web socket is not supported. The other thing for your API endpoint request, each request can handle only 45 seconds. If your API request is going to take more time, then it's not supported. Network isolated backends are not supported. So your static web app has to be deployed before using the /API route. The last restriction is bring your own API endpoints cannot be linked with static web apps with pull request environments. These are the few constraints for the API if you're using with static web apps. It's much more easy to use if you're using the function apps and using the built-in API connector. So if you're connecting an Azure web application, by default, it configures security and then disables the public access, and then internally it configures authentication for your static web apps to access that web application. That's something to be aware of. So that's all for this week. I'll see you again next week with another topic. Thanks again for watching. If you like this video, like, share, and subscribe. Thank you.